This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with the mail has come in, and this time it's Metal Gear Acid 2. Yeah, right out the heels of Metal Gear Acid 1. I thought I would probably wait a while to play like the sequel, like right after the fact, but I was like, you know what? Probably best to get it out of the way and keep my mind fresh on the story, and maybe hopefully I'll add in some more references from previous games and maybe my moments from previous Metal Gears if I don't ever get to the other series as well. But yeah, I think this came out like a year or two after the previous one. Obviously worked on by Kojima Productions, released by Konami. I don't think, if I remember correctly, kind of like the last one, I don't think Kojima even had any like any like notes or anything on this. Like, they just made this without them. I think this was at a time and place when Kojima said he was done with Metal Gear, and then like right afterwards he came back and did like another one. It was weird. He kept, of course, now he's, you know, obviously at this point he's no longer working for him because he got, from what I heard, got shafted pretty badly from Konami, and I've heard it's like a terrible place to work, but obviously that's slander, even though there's plenty of proof. But, you know, whatever. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Metal Gear Acid, the card-based tactical turn-based game, which I played the previous one not too long ago. There's probably not even a jump in like me playing one from the previous one, since I record these all back to back, all somewhat. So I would have gotten this not long afterwards. But anyway, let's make some short adjustments here before we go. I'll leave the movies in. For those who didn't watch the previous one, shame on you, or previous playthrough, shame on you. The skip movies card is every time when you do certain cards, like certain storyline cards or ones with like famous characters on it, they let's see if it keeps that when I do that. Okay. When you use certain storyline character cards that are like uniques or whatever, it plays like a little video based on like what game or reference they're coming from. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, in the first game we played as, well, apparently in an alternate reality Metal Gear game where, if I remember correctly, the Metal Gear games had occurred, except for Metal Gear Solid hadn't been. It was either the first one, basically the world is where the Metal Gear Solid games haven't been done yet. All the previous games before that are canon, except for anything after, like, Metal Gear Solid and onwards are not canon, at least according to this universe. So, you know, the Moses Island incident has occurred. The USS whatever incident hasn't happened. You know, Old Snake and all that, because obviously that's farther down the line. But yeah, the Metal Gear Solid stuff is not prominent in this game, so keep that in mind when it goes story. Oh yeah, I wonder what happens if I wait. Does it just reset? Huh, it was like a little trailer for the game we're about to play, and it said Kojima was a producer, but all a producer does is that sometimes they promote the game or whatever. It doesn't mean they actually worked on the game at all, so probably more just lip service to have him be a producer there for the most part. But anyway, in the previous Metal Gear Acid game, we played as Snake, who'd been called off of vacation to deal with an incident, deal with Metal Gear and some, well, obviously Metal Gear, but that was like a side note. It was mainly because some passengers were about to be killed by this crazy psychotic dolls or whatever, and Snake went in to get some information to try and basically, you know, stop the hostage situation, which we found out there was the whole, at the end of the game, there was this whole, like, people, well, not maybe people backstabbing, but there's, like, twists everywhere, you know, who was the real villain and all this other stuff. And well, I'll talk about that while I play the game, but in the end, there was a fun game, but some of the story bits are a little bit weird. Obviously, you know, Metal Gear being convoluted, but there was a couple story plots in the previous game I didn't care for, like the whole Snake possibly being a villain or whatever, and then they find out later on the game's like, no, not really, we just want to mess with you. Like, anyway, enough jabbering on. I'll talk about all that while we play the game. So let's start Metal Gear Acid 2 and see what happens to Snake since the first game. Best go with normal. I don't want to be known as a pussy. You know. No, alright, let's see what we got here. Metal Gear Acid Import 1, which I've got saved on my little memory card here. One card of 1/100th of the PTS earned in previous titles can be transferred to use in the game. I didn't find all the cards, so it's probably not going to give me many cards for this, so well, I've already got it, so let's do that. Obviously you can play the game without it, but yeah, we'll use that data right there. Well, oh, choose which card to transfer. How many did it say I could do? Just a couple or something like that? Oh, I can just choose one card. Okay. No good to the sneaking suit. Let's see. I'm trying to do. I wonder if they have different abilities in this game, because it's not even saying under the card what the description is. I mean, I remember some of them. Like, I think Naked State gave you like health. Does it not have any of the? Let's see. Oh, it would be good to have some of the ultimate cards. Ingram was the one that allowed you to not have card usage, I think. It didn't count as card usage. That might be the one I keep, because that one took forever for me to unlock. And it made the final bit easier. Yeah, it might do. Oh, Running Man was really good too. I wonder if we'll get those in this game as well. Probably. I had a lot of different cards in this. I never found all of them. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do Ingram just because of his ability that makes card costs 0. So whenever we get to the boss of the game, that'll make it easier to do. So that's probably not the best card to do, but that's the one I'm gonna do. So all right. I mean, that probably wasn't the best choice, but that's the one I'm gonna do. Because we'll unlock a lot of them by playing the game anyway. So it's going automatically. I didn't get a chance to read it, so I'm sorry. Okay, next we'll do some practical nanochip expansion training. You got everything ready? Okay, Snake, from here on out, you'll have to do as I say. Tutorial 1, movement. Oh, well, the game's... Shouldn't you have just done it through the game on how to figure out tutorial and then... Yeah, whatever. I think the VR missions the Metal Gear VR missions do the same thing. First, let's go over movement. Left button and right button select cards. Yeah. Well, I guess it's taking the fact that maybe you didn't play the previous game or it'd been a while, because it's been like a year or two since the last game. So, and then use then a window with move, use move, and so on will appear in the center of the screen. Use the up button and down button to select the option. Then press the circle button to confirm your choice. If move is selected, you will see the area in which you can move. Use the directional button to move. Your number of moves remaining is shown at the bottom of the screen. To cancel a move, press the X button. Okay, let's try to actually move around. Yeah, you can tell Snake... Advance to the goal. Mission start, yeah. You can tell Snake's design is quite a bit differently from the previous game he was in. So I wonder if this is an actual direct sequel to the previous game, or if it's just another random story they want to tell about Solid Snake and stuff like that. And you can tell the graphics are I mean, they use a similar engine, but you can tell the graphics are slightly different, especially that movie we saw at the beginning. Looks like it's going to have new characters, new enemies, and stuff like that. So, anyway, Gru Soldier. Yeah, we want to accept. Oh. That is a weird... Like, you can see the directional pad and the... That bottom one's a little weird. Look at that, like the description, because it shows the directional pad on the left, and then on the right it shows, like, you know, accept, deny... And whatever, I guess square is supposed to be maybe crawling? I don't know what the top one is, but, oh, whoops. Oh, it's because I actually used the card, so, alright. Alright, that sounds work. The 0000 display, or, yeah, at the top of the screen is the number of cards that the player is able to use in one turn. Okay. Oh, that, yes. So we can only use 2. Gotcha. Are they not going by a... Oh no, that we could always use a certain amount of cards, never mind. Once this number hits 0, the player's turn is over. The command menu will open and you will need to select end. You may open the command menu with the X button even if some of your turns remain, and use the end to end your turn early, of course, in the previous game, but I guess the game's got to show us that. Alright, and then we'll move to the exit. Alright. And then end. And then we get our cards reset, or not all of them, but like if I remember correctly, it was like 2 cards per turn or something like that. But the game will probably tell us about that. Yay, we walked forward, mission complete. What, Snake not gonna like fist pump or anything like that? Go dun 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 dun. Hopefully the music in this game will be as good as the previous one. I mean, it's not my favorite music out of all the Metal Gear franchises, but I thought whoever the guy who did the soundtrack and design, I thought did a good job on the overall music. So hopefully this one will have it as well. Tutorial 2: Enemies of Field of Vision. Each enemy has its own field of vision. If you enter that field, a exclamation point will appear above their head, showing that you were discovered, and make the classic "whoa!" Or I can't really replicate it well, but. If you press the triangle button on the card select screen, you can switch to the aerial camera view. I'll admit I had to figure that one out myself because there was no real description on... Well, no. No, I think actually maybe the game did and I forgot or skipped over it. I'm usually not bad about that. I just remember it took me a while to figure that out for some reason. If you put the cursor on the enemy in the field, this enemy's field of view will be displayed. I think it did that in the previous... game too, had the same feature. I mean, if this game was only a year off from the previous one, there's no reason to make super drastic changes to the gameplay, you know. It's best that you try to make it to your goal without being discovered. Obviously, you get more points and earn more cards and all that. Mission start, advance to the goal. Yeah. So we can, okay. Let's see, in the aerial view, and then we got one dude, and you can sell. It looks like, man, this game is like from a color design. This is very psychedelic with like yellows and purples. It's just kind of throwing me off, yo. Okay, so he's just looking that way, so obviously we don't want to... I wonder if he can turn around, though. That's the thing, but this is a tutorial, so it'll tell us if we need to. If you hold down the triangle while moving, you can change your facing with the directional button. Also, by pressing the circle button while holding down the square, you can engage in CQC with an enemy standing in front of you. Close quarters combat for you non-Metal Gear fans. Engaging in CQC requires 4 costs. I thought it cost like 3 in the previous game. Could be wrong. You know, just because I just played it doesn't mean I remember every single detail about it. You can do CQC only once per turn. That I do. That is true. Is that what it wants me to do? Is do CQC? Oh, how many was that one? 3? Okay, so I guess it wants me to. Okay, so you... Oh, that's what that symbol means on the top. It just means like, even though it looks like a circle with directional pads going... Actually, it looks like a Greek symbol. I mean, I don't know if that's what it's trying to do, but it does look like the Greek symbol of Omega, actually, from here. I wonder if maybe that was on purpose. But anyway, you press triangle, yeah, and you see the fist appear. All right, and then we punch him in the face. The mission was a failure. Oh, I thought the game wanted me to knock him out. Is that not what I was supposed to do? Huh. Okay. Well, I assume the point of that was I was supposed to utilize it. Maybe I was, but I was supposed to hit him from behind. Maybe that was the point. Wow, failing the tutorial. Way to go, dude. I am awesome. Anyway, okay, we know about that. Alright, let's do that again, but do it the right way. Maybe... No, I guess I'm not supposed to use it at all. Okay. Huh. I assumed the game wanted me to use it. That's the reason it told me about it. But no, it's just... I guess it's just there just to say, hey, you know, it's an option if you need to. So, okay. Well, like I said, I'm an epic video game player if I fail tutorials, you know. Oops. Alright, let's just go through it now. Now that we know that the game does not want me to actually use CQC, it was just telling me as a feature of the game that I could possibly use it in a future date. Gotcha. Okay. I am okay. My home bro. Alright, anyway. Let's get out of here. He never saw it coming! Yeah, I've noticed the line work on like the character models is very thick. And I'll admit the previous game's storyline was definitely more of a... I remember some of the reading some of the reviews of this game after I played it, like people describing it. They said it was kind of like the namesake Acid. It was almost like an acid trip while playing it, just because of certain story beats and all this other stuff. And I'm almost feeling it with this tutorial level. Look at that. Looks like someone barfed up some code or some New York hippie artwork or something. Tutorial 3, crawling. Next, I'll explain how to crawl. If you press square on the move screen while using a move card, you will start to crawl. Okay, so that was supposed to be a person crawling. You can move as far as while crawling, but you can pass through. You can't move as far while crawling, but you can pass through narrow openings. Man, my brain worked good. Okay, now you can try to crawl. Try to make it to the goal without being discovered by your enemies. Okay. Advance to the goal. Mission start. It looks like this whole episode's gonna be tutorial stuff right here. Well, I guess that's just how it is. Alright. Got 2 dudes. I assume there's probably a spot to crawl in between. Yeah, so and then we can square. Go. Pressing the start button to pause will then pressing any other button will display a description of that button. Huh, okay. If you're not sure how to use something, pause and try pressing the corresponding button in the... Oh, so it always gives you a chance to tutorialize it if you forget, so if you... Oh, okay, and it says down there at the bottom, it says confirm your choice, open menu, view card details, switch to top down. Okay, that's cool. If I remember that. Alright, anyway, we'll just crawl there, stand up. I assume it won't matter because the tutorial, I assume they won't actually turn to face me, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, I also turned on, if you didn't see in the menu, I turned on the speed to quick, so enemy AI is supposed to go faster, so that way it won't take forever. Yay, we moved forward again. Woo! We are the best super spy ever. Totally. No one's better than Solid Snake. Tutorial 4. Actually, Snake is probably one of my favorite. Well, not my favorite, but he's definitely a top tier like video game characters for me. I don't even know if it's in characterization. It's just, I don't know, just the games, the David Hayter as the voice actor. Not that the guy who did him in Metal Gear Solid 5 wasn't bad. It's just I don't see why they got rid of David Hayter. There was like no reason to do that, and I blame Kojima on that one. So there was like no reason to do that. Anyway, tutorial 4, knocking. If you press the directional button in the direction of a wall while moving, you can flatten against the wall. If you press the square button while flattened, you can knock on the wall. Knocking will make a noise, which nearby units will investigate. I never did utilize that feature very well. Throughout the whole game, I just never utilized it properly. I don't know why. Okay, try knocking on a wall to attract an enemy's attention. Let's see if you can make it to your goal without being spotted. Alright, let's see if we can distract him enough. It always seemed like every time I used that, like I'd never have enough cost to get to my turn by the time he got there, so it'd always be, you know, it'd always be, okay, yeah, we need him to move. So, I guess, and we can crawl under that, right? It kind of looks like I can crawl. Okay, well, anyway. So, if I do that, and then square, okay. then that should get him moved, right? On his turn, right? Whoa, yeah, that was... Yeah, I've gotten it quick, so he would usually walk as slow as I would, but in this case, we're gonna do that. All right, cool. Yeah, but I never did a very good job of like fixing cost or figuring out the right cost to make knock useful, even though it is a useful feature. That's probably why in my playthrough of Metal Gear Acid I got caught like a billion times in the game. Is ridiculous. I mean, the first mission I got caught like almost immediately, and it took me forever to beat that level because I hadn't gotten used to the game mechanics and everything like that. So I got better by the end, and that game kind of pissed me off at quite a regular interval, but I think it's just because I was more heated, because I was more invested, I think, or whatever. Anyway, tutorial 5, weapons. If you select a weapon card with the left and right buttons on the card selection screen, you can use that weapon by selecting use. However, you cannot use a weapon if there is no target within range. If you target an enemy for attack while you're flattened on a wall, and you try to shoot that enemy, you will do a surprise shot. Oh, I didn't know that. Was that a feature in the previous game? I don't think it was. I think that's something new to this. Or if it was, I never figured it out. Then again, I never went through every single tutorial box just to see what was there, so... Huh. So you have to do it all flattened, huh? That's interesting. Eliminate your enemy. Yeah, gotcha. Alright. You can climb ladders that are in front of you by facing the ladder using the directional button. Well, we'll figure out how to use weapons, climb ladders, and finally get to the story eventually after the tutorial next time on the next episode of Metal Gear Acid. So join me on this acid trip as it were. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.